An outbreak of virus in 2 boarding schools. These are issues of great concern to all those who are following. Now we have a safety specialist here, Ehidan, with us in the studio to help make sense of all of these. Good morning, nice to see you.
Good morning, Mike. It's so good to be here.
Now, when it comes to the call or the talk about safety of the second wave of coronavirus, we've seen it across Europe, we've seen it across parts of the Americas. But Nigerians are saying the fact that it has happened in America and in Europe doesn't mean it's going to happen here. But what do you make? From the figures in the last 2 days, it spiked up a little bit, even though it came down a little bit today. But then NCDC is saying that there can be a second wave of coronavirus in the country.
From all indication, even the interviews we've had at the face of the COVID-19 lockdown, we mentioned this. And even when the lockdown was relaxed, and the interview I had with you also, I mentioned this. There's every indication there's going to be a second wave of COVID-19. And when you go out, you look at the behavior of people, and you wonder if Nigeria has been declared COVID-19 free. And it pains.
It's really sad,
because and one of the key factors that is responsible for this is that we are quick to make policies, but we are never able to implement those policies. People go about with reckless abandon, and nobody wears those masks. 3 things are very crucial here. Social distancing must be maintained. Hand hygiene must be maintained. And the use of nose mask. And these were the things, even when we had Ebola, these were the things we did. Yeah. But now we have this thing, is able. I understand the fact that in the quest of trying to leave your house and in a hurry to do one or 2 things, you forget those masks. But I think if somebody is coming to your place, you insist that the person go, because the control of this COVID-19 spread is not just one man's responsibility. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility. So all these issues that were put in place, we must don't wait for government. Ensure that on your own, like in my office, you can't enter my office without those masks. Outside my office, there's a washing point where you must wash your hand before you come in. So let's let people. I know that yes, we have high level informal economy.
In all of these things, because the point there is the NCDC, for the Federal Ministry of Health, even the United Nations, World Health Organization rather, they've all expressed their frustration at one point or the other as to people not adhering to this protocol. What more can government do? Because some people have said that government trying to enforce the issue of distancing or the nose mask might be violating some rights.
Fundamental rights.
Exactly. Yeah. So what more can government do?
You see, when you look at safety, we always say behavior is a very high confounder of risk. Okay. So it's the behavior we have to work on. Okay. See, the truth is, we are not hearing what we ought to. You see, the truth is, when you let people know this is what you have to do, you are not telling them why they have to do what you want them to do. You don't experience the right behavior. So it's not a matter of saying, oh, let's engage as if. Before now, we have what you call town hall meetings. We transcend from there. Let's begin to engage ourselves locally. Let's go back to the school issue. When schools were told to resume, we all cried out. Don't allow the schools, because what we don't have to wait to reinvent the ways, but let's look at those who have told this part, and let's see what has happened. There were scientific evidence of countries that have told this part, and when they have a high wave of the spike of COVID-19, and they had to shut down again. We were crying, yes, in as much as we were crying that school shouldn't resume, but there's another angle to it, divide to it, that said that while you cried that school shouldn't resume, are you ready to pay the cost of ignorance? Those were so there were arguments from 2 perspectives. So
it was a great debate.
Yes, so how do we have to balance it? Now the school has resumed, but we are seeing the spike. I'm telling you, if we feel children have to come back home, because my son is going back to school on Monday, and I'm just worried. If we feel children have to come back home, anybody can make a decision that leads to an error. But the truth is, let's understand that this decision, I think it wasn't in everybody's best interest. Let's quickly retrieve that decision, let come back home. But I think with schools resuming, we are going to have a high rate of spike of COVID-19. But let's watch. But I think the figures we've seen it grow, and it came down a little. But let's give ourselves the next 2 weeks. If it goes beyond this, we have to take definite decisions.
What scenarios do you see playing out? Now, the point there is, a lot of persons have said that Nigeria cannot afford another lockdown. When it comes to the economy of it,
Yes,
Nigeria cannot afford another lockdown. But if there's a second wave that is coming, like the UK is doing, where parts of the city are on lockdown again.
The truth is, we keep talking about the economy. If we have the economy, there are no people to live in the country, to build the economy. What do we have? But economy can be built in isolation of healthy people.
Yeah, but the point is, this is where this debate is very challenging and difficult. Now, and even complex, because the point is, you're talking of a lockdown to keep the people healthy or to keep the people safe, as the case may be. Now, people are hungry.
Yes.
We saw, in fact, in Lagos, during the lockdown, we heard of 1,000 boys or 1 million boys, going around from place to place, looting and all of that. So it puts pressure on the issue of security on the other hand. So how challenging is that for government to decide to?
It is a big issue that you need to really sit down and find a way around this so that at the end of the day we have a win-win situation. In as much as the economy, has to open up, and people need to in quest for survival. Yeah. But we also understand that there's a big issue of COVID-19 we have to consider. So the truth is, there's no one hard fact to eat. Yeah. It's what we have to sit down and look at. Yes, what part of the economy do we open right now? Where do we think that there will be spike if we allow people to go to converge or converge in a higher population? Yeah. This is because that's where schools come in. But if you look at it, workplaces. If you look at workplaces right now, people are able to say, okay, because these are adults. Yeah. So how do you allow, how do you enforce children following those protocols? It's not possible. So I believe if we see that school we lead to spike of COVID-19 rise, it's just a matter of let's come and have a consensus. Talk to our parents. A child losing a term or a year or so, it's not an issue. But all we are doing is for that child to be able to be alive and feed the economy that we are considering building. But if you ask me, churches, schools, these are where we have high convergence of people. So you don't need to open this up right now because we don't want to experience what you kids experience right now. Even South Korea, when they opened up the churches, this spike came up. So, but we need to learn from that.
But you know the pressure from the churches on government for churches to be allowed to resume, which are open,
I think when we're worshiping from home, nobody died.
Well, the worship from home was made possible by what they call digital churches, who have online platforms and all of that. The others who didn't have that, they had to call for resumption of all of that.
Yeah, but the truth is, when you have issues, that's what you call the new normal. We have to forget the fact that we used to do that before. But when you have situations where you have to improvise, how do I reach my people? Yeah. But the truth is that even the future of work has always talked about this right from time, which of course was driven by the ILO, that a time will come when we all be knowing to travel, we can stay in our home and do what we want to do. But understand the fact that whether you believe it or not, but here we are right now. You have to advance into
stepping faster than we imagined.
Exactly. Step into that space and see how you can walk around it, because whether you like it or not, a colleague of mine was saying to me yesterday, said that we used to travel so much for conference. It looks like that has become history. I said, I think so, because conferences are now held through virtual means.
Yeah, exactly.
But it saves you a lot of cost. But the purpose of the conference is still achieved. But the only thing we lose is that we can't see face-to-face or be able to network that we normally do. And that's just it.
All right. What do you make of the new vaccine by Pfizer and BioNTech? They're saying that it's 90% effective, and they're looking at the possibility of having more than 1 billion doses by the end of 2021.
Just have in mind 2021. That's the far, but
they can make 50 million doses by the end of this year.
Congratulate that research and the breakthrough. That is a sigh of relief for all of us. At least something has happened. That's a good one. But one of the things you have when you have this kind of breakthrough is that there's what you call, if you look at the Doha Declaration, you look at intellectual property rights, and that's what we start looking at right now. And that was the issue we have with HIV/AIDS. But I think why this breakthrough has happened, the first thing that we should start discussing as quick as possible is intellectual property rights, and how to actually allow that study the research for people to assess it, to do what you call the generic version.
Yeah.
Because how many people do we have across the world? 1 billion people, 1 billion vaccine doesn't even touch maybe about 30% of the world population.
So there's going to be pressure on, and the desperation to get, definitely. And all of that.
But the earlier they give, the earlier they're able to actually get the consensus to help make the generic version of that vaccine, the better for us.
All right, we have to leave it here. Ehid, and thank you so much for coming on the program.
My very pleasure.
Thank you. Great.